Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today at ARC and to talk a little bit about Danfoss and what we are doing with facility optimization and energy management. And a lot of this has to do with the partnership that we have with Bentley Systems as well. And it's all about being able to utilize Internet of Things or IoT and be able to take and optimize and develop services. So before we get started, I guess we'll flip to the next slide, assuming I do this right. Just flip to the next slide, maybe. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Richard Ruth, Product Manager of Services. I've joined Danfoss back in 2015, been here for a little over a year. I've come with a very unique experience in telecommunications, primarily dealing with machine-to-machine communication, cloud services, as well as wireless and broadband. My focus has been at Danfoss regarding the services that can be brought to the table under a product management role. So let's see if we can go. Or next slide. So as far as retail goes and the supermarkets in general, there are a lot of challenges that are being faced today, and a lot of things that are top of mind, not only from a store level but to an executive level. And it has to do with optimizing food safety. There are regulations in regards to ensuring that you're keeping the food at adequate temperatures. Being able to use big data and to be able to take the big data and bring it to your advantage, and then combat climate change as well. When you're dealing with refrigeration or refrigerants, there are climate issues that you have to think about as well. And then lastly, maximize energy efficiency. Not sure if many of you are aware about the supermarket industry, but they are one of the lowest in gross profit. Brought to the table on average about 2%. So any way that you're able to optimize and be more efficient is a way that you can just contribute directly to your bottom line. We'll try the next slide, please. So here's the view that we take, and it all has to do with what-if scenarios. And again, it boils down to if food loss could be predicted, and then as well as the safety was guaranteed. These are things that are top of mind. Stores could deliver more energy than they use. Again, supermarkets had zero emissions. And then lastly, the store chains were equipped with self-learning, self-adaptive components and solution, as was just talked to a little bit earlier today. So, as far as product portfolio, to what our company does is we build smart connected products. And it goes all the way down to the various infrastructure to a valve, all the way up to the what we call our pack controllers and other controllers. And then ultimately you have a smart front end. You have a front end that can collect the data internally within the store and be able to provide valuable insight. So what I wanted to do was to be able to help you show how we were able to unleash the opportunities and build these into services. Again, we integrate solutions that deal directly with refrigeration components, HVAC, lighting, and other applications. We're directly focused on enhancing the food safety, bringing down the energy bill, and then ultimately connecting and optimizing the store or the supermarket from case to cloud. We have over 9,000 connected stores today utilizing our products and services, some primarily with Bentley and others in other shapes. But what we are dedicated to doing is to be able to make the supermarket a little bit smarter each and every day. Maybe we go to the next slide. So as far as the value in the service, and these are the highlights, and I'm not going to go into great detail, but it's all about providing that insight and the value to the end user, to the end customer. If I can help them save ultimately on energy use as well as equipment performance, or if there are things that are happening down the road. Ultimately, we are able to help them get a better understanding and insight how they can do better by knowing more with the analytics. The next piece, you have the connected and the consolidated services. Our company, we have over 900,000 sensors and 100,000 compressors that have been deployed, which are all smart products that we are able to utilize. Then we go down to the control and predict. The control and predict all entails being able to use the analytics and the data that Bentley is able to bring to the table in order for us to help our customers within their store environment. And then lastly, comply and prevent. Within the European sector, they have a thing which is called HACCP. And it's HACCP reporting, and I'm not sure if you know, but it has to do with ensuring that the food products that are within the case and the temperatures are where they should be. We have an automated way to be able to bring that to the table, so you don't have to have somebody going around from case to case each and every one of the hours in order to be able to take down the temperature readings. One customer said more or less we were able to save them 1 FTE or full-time equivalent by being able to provide this type of data. So just why is it important? Looking at the supermarkets today, they're one of the most intensive commercial type of buildings that are out there, and they use on average 50 kilowatts of electricity. And then as well as the Environmental Protection Agency estimates $1 in energy savings equates to $59 in sales, which is a big deal. So overall, the benefit to the end user is we're able to increase their productivity. We can reduce the vulnerability of energy price fluctuations, and then as well as help them increase the sales, reduce spoilage, and then enhance their public image. Next slide. Maybe? Maybe not. Can you play or no? So this is a view of inside a single store and what we're able to bring to the table. So now I go backwards. So in essence, overall, I don't know where I'm at anymore. Back, one more. So what we're trying to do at this point is to be able to maximize a new way in profitability for the stores, for the overall stores. We talked about it from a store level. Now we can take and encompass, because we all know there isn't just a single supermarket that's out there. Normally you have banners of supermarkets, and these banners want to be able to ensure and optimize each and every one of the facilities or the stores that they own. So from a logistics perspective, we do alarm management. So we provide alarm management that comes in. It's 24/7 alarms to where we're ensuring the food temperature, the food safety from that front. We try to help them prevent issues before they become bigger issues, because an asset loss or a particular cabinet or case that ends up getting hot or warm could be just total spoilage that has to be thrown out. And then lastly, try to help them optimize and save energy from there. So the primary benefits that we can bring from an enterprise level is we're able to help them now by utilizing IoT for a corporate office or a regional manager or even a facility manager or contractor to be able to help them measure with specific and verifiable data. Those data points then aren't assumptions anymore. It's true actual data to where they can make valuable decisions. They can act based on those decisions, and then as well as protect their assets and then save, and not only save from real documented savings in energy, but then also in labor, and then even potentially reduced service needed because of the fact that we're able to help them, shall I say, resolve the issue online or over the phone. So now we're into the enterprise level. So as far as the products and service offerings to what we deliver within the retail segment today, we have a host of products that can be provided individually or even provided in bundles. But each and every one of these play an important role based on the audience or the person that you're talking to, if it is an executive or if it is a facility manager or a contractor. I'm going to touch on a few of these, and I'm not going to go into great detail, but I wanted to be able to provide some of the analytics to what we're able to bring to the table and how that is important. And you can drive value out of services by embracing and utilizing the Internet of Things. So again, we have alarm management. We have two types to what we do. Some customers like to be able to monitor their own alarms and services, so we just take the data as it's coming in, and it's all push data to us. And we are providing them a visualization layer to where they can react. The second is our 24/7 call-out center, to where if an alarm comes in, we will notify the on-call person for the particular facility. Next up, compressor performance. Again, it's all about trying to be able to gain insight into how is my facility or how is it doing? How is it working properly? Compressor performance can actually identify a lot of things in order to be able to tell you if you're driving up your energy use, and then as well as if you may have a fault that's coming down the road. With compressors, it all has to do with the number of starts and stops within a given period of time or an hour time frame. With that being said, we can identify these items and be able to give a visualization to be able to show the end user that there could be a potential problem that is happening. And that only not just can help prevent failures, but it can also provide insight into if it's improperly sized or if there's a capacity control issue, so on and so forth. Next up, we do leak detection, and we do refrigeration levels to where we can go ahead and by utilizing the sensors that are embedded within the estate or within the facility, be able to pull back that information and be able to say whether or not your facility is running good, or not only that, if you need to be able to have a recharge on refrigerant, or even worse than that could be if you have a leak that needs to be identified and fixed immediately due to environmental potential issues that could come down the road. And all this, again, is automated and fed into the platform. Next, the HACCP and the TQI. Again, this has to do with the regulatory compliance of the food safety. Automated means in order to be able to bring back the data is available 24/7. Again, in Europe, you could have a regulatory person come out, ask for reports on the spot. You're able to log right in and be able to show them as to how the facility's been running. Set.point control, and this is actually one of my favorite, and I don't know, like from a building automation perspective, you're used to having a control point, a front-end control point that would go into the building. Within the retail or the grocery stores, they spend an awful lot of money in order to be able to do retrofits or, shall I say, remodels, for instance. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to optimize their facilities. And then on a daily basis, there could be something that's happening on a store level, changes that are being made, and in turn, you as, we'll call it the person that just invested it, may not even know about it. By us having the insight, we're able to show any Set.point changes that have taken place over a course of time. And we can revert things back to the way that they were originally right after that retrofit. So again, it's taking the data and being able to use that to be able to provide valuable services to the end user. Password lockdown, very simple in nature. That front-end controller, we can lock it down. We can lock it down. If any changes need to be made, they would need to call into our facility, and in turn, we'd provide them a temporary password for a short period of time. And then once that change is made, everything is documented in that front end by the contractor that's out on site. So we know who is there, who did it, why they requested it, and all that data is also fed back into the platform. Whoop, one too far. Energy. So diving into energy, energy is a hot topic, especially within our industry, but any building automation fashion. And it's all about being able to take to baseline and benchmark how am I performing? How am I performing against, even if I have multiple buildings, against the same building that has the same type of structure, square footage, so on and so forth. We're able to provide that insight coming through from a main meter or the sub meters down the road. We can break it out as well, being able to show you which assets within the store, such as if they are refrigeration cabinets, or if it is the HVAC, or if it is the lighting, so on and so forth. All that can be visually displayed in order for whoever it is that needs the information to be able to do some form of action. This is actually a new product that we are launching this year, Coefficients of Performance, that has to do with the, we'll call it the compressor output and how the compressor is running within the refrigeration system. Overall, this is more of an engineering type service. Engineers are very, very, very entrenched in wanting to understand and make sense of this data as to how the facilities are running. So this is a service that we're able to bring through to be able to show how the assets are doing, the compressors, the racks, the individuals, and you can baseline and benchmark within the facility as well. Next, continuous commissioning process. Again, this is a very good use case to where we had a customer that was utilizing the big data in order for, and they had us taking the data for 3 to 6 months, and we were helping them optimize their overall performance of the facility. They decided that they were going to go ahead and do away with the service at that point. We were still collecting the data. However, as you can see, the increase in, we'll call it the electric use, went up over the course of time. And ultimately, the savings, once they re-upped with it, they were able to bring down their bills by $1.6 million. So $1.6 million saved, again, by just having that insight. Remote assist is another area to where we can just utilize any access going into the store and be able to help our customers from having to call out a contractor. If they need to have lighting changes made, if they're doing inventory for a particular night, so on and so forth, we can go ahead and assist without having a service call visit. Demand response is kind of the most unique in nature when you look at service categories and those that do and play a lot in electricity or utilities. On peak periods of time where you could be on a hot weather day, the electric company wants you to be able to shed the amount of electricity that you're using throughout that day. They're offering supermarkets big incentives in order for them to participate in these demand response programs. So the customer in turn would come to us on an estate level or give us a regional level and provide us where they wanted to be able to maybe turn the heat up by a couple degrees, dim the lights by a couple degrees, by just lowering the lights, and be able to take the data when initiated to be able to participate during that demand response incentive, and then ultimately be able to provide the back-end reporting showing the results of how much kilowatts we were able to save them. So just looking at the overall IoT industry and where things are going, it is all about big data. And that big data is and can be hard to be able to make sense of. But being able to utilize visualization and reporting tools can really assist our customers in overall just being able to enhance their performance and their optimization of the facilities. So in closing, just looking at IoT, it's a new generation, it's a new era, and this is where the customers, our customers, your customers, or even within your own business, you can now have control. You can reduce your cost. You can improve your sustainability. And then lastly, you can increase your operational effectiveness. So this is one area I hold near and dear to my heart. And ultimately, it's all about embracing these smart, connected products. So I believe that is it for me. But thank you.